Scooter Braun is one of the entertainment industry's biggest power brokers that Time magazine called one of the most influential people in the world. He went from dropping out of university and managing after parties to managing artists like Justin Bieber and Kanye West and negotiating deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Need motivation?
Watch Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Scooter Braun, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, help others.
We grow up in a world where we think that if I'm winning, someone else should be losing. Or if I'm losing, someone else is winning. And that's why people get into that mode. And what I like to explain is, I call it the vacation theory, where if I'm successful and none of my friends are successful, I have to pay for them to go on vacation with me. I don't want to pay for your vacation. My goal in life is to have all of my friends become successful so that they also can pay for the nice vacation and it isn't all on me financially. So if you think of it that way, you know, because I think a lot of people, they kind of look into it like, I want to be the one who makes it. No, you want everyone to make it. And the other thing I'll say is, whenever I talk to powerful people, and I had the pleasure today of sitting with a mentor of mine today who's had an incredible career. He's one of my favorite people in the world. And when he talks about other super powerful people, he talks about 30, 40, 50 years of history. And what I think the beautiful part about that is, people make this idea that I got to get to this person. You know, they think they got to get to you. They think they got to get to me. You want to know who you got to get to? They're sitting next to you in the living room, dreaming just like you. You know, they are your peers. If you come up, anyone who's powerful, their network is more powerful than their money. Always. They can say, oh, who do you need? I've known him for 20 years. Let me make a phone call. It's coming up that grind. Me and Eugene, we went into this business together because we knew each other from the grind.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I can call. You know, when I needed Ludacris on Baby back in the day for Justin's first single that would give him some credibility, it was because Ludacris and I came up with Throw Them Bows in a nightclub. You know, so for me, it's not about the person you aspire to know. You should go to them for stories, you know, get some wisdom. But if you want to know who you need to network with your peers and help each other rise up. And that's where power comes from.
And my parents both really came from nothing but love. You know, very loving family, but didn't have resources. And I was first generation to have something. There was no trust fund. There was nothing, but my parents both became professionals, both met in college, and provided a nice house for us with food on the table and a really loving household. And I always felt this sense of guilt of like, why me? Why did, you know, there was nothing waiting for me to inherit, but it was like, why do I get a life so much better than the generations before? And what's happened to me since, I truly believe that everything that's happened to me is because of not only the sacrifices that all those people made, but somebody upstairs is looking out. And it's not just for me to kind of reap all the benefits, because all the sacrifices were from others. So my entire outlook on life is like, if somebody's pouring, you know, goodness into my glass, if I don't pour it into someone else's glass, it's going to spill on the table.
Rule number 2, learn from your fails.
I was the vice president of marketing at Sosadev Records. I was 20 years old.
Wow.
And we went on this crazy run where when I signed on with Jermaine, he didn't even have distribution yet. He signed on new distribution, and then we did Jaquan Tipsy, we did Anthony Hamilton, we did the Youngbloods, and then we did Usher Confessions. Jermaine executive produced that. And that's how me and Usher became close, because we were in the studio every night. In fact, Confessions Part 1 almost didn't happen because I was trying to get them to come to the nightclub with me.
No way.
And they kicked me out of the studio.
Wow.
Smart move, guys. But yeah, I was still learning. And while I was doing that, I was trying to create my own artist. So I was spending all my money on the side.
Is this Asher or is this?
No, this was early on. These were acts that people don't know about because it was, well, I was still learning.
Sure.
You know, so I had this act, OD, and that fell apart because they robbed a bunch of banks in Atlanta and the FBI shut them down. And they got caught because our mixtape I paid for to put out, they were posing, and the FBI finally identified them from our mixtape that we flooded Atlanta with. And then I had this artist, Kato, who's part of OD, who I was very close with. And I just financed everything for a long time. I mean, I paid for the mixes, the masters, the housing. I mean, it was just like I was understanding how to develop an artist, and I learned a lot from that experience because I failed.
What were some of the big lessons you learned early on, you think, with that?
Well, I
artist?
learned how to make records, first of all. I mean, I learned the mixing, the mastering. I learned the radio promotion side independently because I was working record independently. I learned, how to trust my gut at the right time. And I hear all the time of like, oh, everything you sign, blows up. But I had a lot of failures before Asher Roth happened.
Rule number 3, commit fully.
I feel like you got to finish things that you start. And it's interesting. I always get really like deep and emotional and like deep thoughts at the end of the year. And we're doing this right before, Christmas break.
Which we did last year
Which
as well.
we did last
Yes.
year. And I kind of get in this place. Okay, my nose itches. I'm not that guy in California. Let me just itch my nose. When you itch your nose in California, people get the wrong idea. But I do what I do because it's given me this amazing life. It gives me this this incredible opportunity to provide for my family in a way that I never dreamed possible. And I've made commitments to people. I met Justin when he was 13 years old. When I met, Ariana as a young teenager. I met Martin Garrix when he was 17.
Wow.
I met Kanye 10 years ago. And Usher and I have been friends for, over 10 years. So, Tori Kelly, I met, as a 20-year-old. So, when I look at the acts that I've signed on, when I look at the team that I have around me that's been with me from the beginning, I think I do what I do because if I shake someone's hand, it's as good as a binding contract. And I made a commitment to them, and they made a commitment to me. And as long as they want to ride, I'm going to keep riding.
Wow.
And I think at this point, when I go to work, I'm not really going to work because I need to make money. I'm going to work because the people who signed up in my office to believe in me and what I wanted to do with my artists and the things that we do, they helped me provide this life for my family. And now it's my job to go to work every single day so they can get there.
Right.
It's kind of like I now work for my staff.
Rule number 4, show people who you are.
2 years ago, I lost one of the most important people in my life, which was my grandmother. And she was one of the most special human beings anyone's ever met. And everyone who knew her loved her. And she was an Auschwitz Holocaust survivor. So she saw the worst of humanity, but literally was the light in every room she went into. And everyone called her Ma. When she passed away, my brother, 11 hours later, had twins. And 9 days later, I had my second son. So now I got a wife with a 21-month-old baby and a newborn. She's breastfeeding. I got a dad who's broken because both his parents are gone. And I'm trying to be the rock for the whole family. And I didn't have time for grieving. So I went into, I started going into a depression, which I wasn't used to. I'd gone to different dark places in the past, but I couldn't shake this one. I couldn't sleep it off. I couldn't get away from it. And I started to get even more depressed because no one was asking me if I was okay. Because I've been the rock for all of my friends and my family my entire life. I'm always okay. I'm always the mature one. I have fun, I go crazy, but I was always the one that you didn't have to worry about. And I'm always the one who goes and fixes everyone else's problem. And finally, a friend of mine I opened up to, and he said, you need to talk to your wife about it too. And I went and talked to my wife, and I expected her to be like, baby, we can get through anything. And instead she looked at me and she goes, you can always talk to me about anything. I love you, but this is your fault.
Yeah, you made the bed.
And I said, well,
I'm that person in my life.
And I said, what are you talking about? She goes, you always fix everyone else's problems, but you don't stay long enough to let them know your insecurities, your vulnerabilities, and who you are. So you think you're connected to all these people, but they don't feel connected to you. They just trust you can help them out.
Yeah.
And I decided as a New Year's resolution that I would take time to engage and show people who I was so that they could be there for me in dark times. It's, and I am much better about that now, taking time out of my busy schedule to say stop and speak to people and engage with them and let them know that I've been through those moments. And my life is more fulfilling now. I have more genuine friendships now that I didn't even know weren't genuine. And, that's actually why I even take the time to do stuff like this, because I want to get that message out there. I want people to know vulnerability is strength.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
And the one thing you have to really never do is compare yourself to other people.
Absolutely.
That's the one thing you can't do is judge your success to someone else's.
It doesn't matter what's happening. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what you on or this person's on. This is what I like. You know,
gotta watch.
my life is tailor-made for me.
I'm making music because I love it. And it's why I'm here.
Rule number 5, take risks.
Asher was kind of a new beginning for me because it was the first time I did it without SOSODEF, so my back was against the wall. It was all my money. I had no income coming in. I refused to do parties.
You had everything to lose, basically.
Everything. I mean, literally, I will never forget. I'm actually moving into my new house with my wife now, and I looked around. I said, I can't believe we live here, because I remember paying for pizza with change. You know, I remember I ordered this pizza and I realized I didn't have any money, and I had to wait till the next party the following week. And I paid for pizza with change, and then I was quit parties cold turkey because I said if I have to throw a party again, I failed. So I had enough money when I signed Asher to, you know, live for about 13 months my lifestyle, and then I was going to go broke. And I signed Asher and Justin within 4 months of each other, and I put everything into them. I mean, housing, studio time, you know, paying for the tutor, paying for the furniture, paying, you know, everything. And I really believed in these guys, and it makes it all worth it now because it was, you know, I was far away from home. I couldn't go home. I wasn't asking my dad for money since I was 18. And I had to make it on my own. And the idea of failing wasn't an option.
Rule number 6, be responsible.
I think that this most recent election showed that celebrity only goes so far in influence.
That's true.
And I'm a firm believer that you should listen to people who are informed, not just people who have large followings. And I think that, you know, this election was kind of a wake-up call to the fact that, you know, celebrity is not as impactful as we think it is, because it's not necessarily about how big your numbers are. It's about how much you have, you know, how much engagement you have. And the people I manage have tremendous engagement and huge followings, and I definitely think they're extremely influential, and I have a responsibility being associated to their journeys to make sure that I try to be the best person I can be and help them and guide them when asked in the best possible manner. But I personally believe that, you know, this most influential list, and it's really great, you know, so someday my grandma and my mom can be proud of me, and my wife can be proud.
Right.
And someday my kids can be proud. But, you know, I just think that when you give a speech to a crowd, you know, my brother and I have had this conversation. We always say, try and find one person in the crowd and make that eye contact, and make sure before you leave the room that you get at least one person in the crowd and you know that you connected with them. And I think that when it comes to influence, in 100 years, one of my mentors said this to me one time. He said, in 100 years, no one's going to remember you.
Right.
And he said, no one's going to remember me, so they sure as hell won't remember you. That's what he said. And
he's a big mentor. He's a big
mentor. And I really believe that in 100 years, no one's going to remember my name. You know, I don't care what you say. No one's going to remember my name in 100 years, but they might feel my impact.
Right.
So I think when we talk about influence, and I think that everyone watching this, everyone listening to this has a responsibility, because you don't understand each individual engagement has such a ripple effect that you might be the most influential person in the world, because something you do might create a ripple that affects the world in an impactful way that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
So every interaction you have with people, how you carry yourself, the things that you say, the things that you do, we're never going to get it right, but all of us have a responsibility, you know, to go out in the world and treat every interaction like we are all that important, because we all truly are, in my opinion. And if we do that, I think the world would be a lot better place, and we would stop looking to think that, you know, the number of followers are what makes us important. I think the next generation has been kind of trained, you know, get likes, get followers, get likes, get followers. And they're missing the point that even when we open our phones, that interaction is so intimate. You know, it's one-on-one when you're looking at that screen, and you're not talking to people through millions of impressions. And if you actually treat every personal experience the way you treat that intimacy with your phone, then I think we'll start to see people, you know, understanding their importance. And I don't really think I'm that. I don't think, whether it be the CEO or the janitor, I have the same responsibility to both of them, because they're just as important as I am.
Rule number 7, have good values.
When Asher made I Love College, it was in the basement of this house I was renting, this crap hole that like had rats everywhere. We used to call it the greenhouse, because the truth is he was smoking so much weed down there. But that night, he wasn't smoking weed, because he never smoked when Justin was around. But he recorded I Love College, and Justin actually was in the studio. He was with studio. It was like a little crap room in the basement. You know, my buddy was doing engineering. But we all kind of came up together, and there's this really great picture of me, Asher, and Justin on the front porch of that house. And no one knew who Justin was. I mean, there's videos of Asher and me with Ludacris, and everyone's hyped because Asher and Ludacris are in the same room, and they don't notice there's this little kid sitting behind us.
Chilling.
It's Justin.
And he was 12 when this.
He was at that time 13, 14.
When you first had him move to Atlanta.
Yeah, he was 13 when I had him move. I found him when he was the videos. He was 12.
Yeah.
But he, just the whole adventure to kind of you respect everything so much more, and it also reminds you when you get money that tomorrow isn't promised.
Yeah.
And you value everything, because you know what it's like to be a big promoter and have all kinds of money and then literally be paying for pizza with change because you spent it all trying to make it.
Rule number 8, be ready to sacrifice.
I still remember vividly going home in my 20s and my dad saying, I want to talk to you. I think that you're, working too hard. You're missing out on stuff. And I looked at it and I said, Dad, I'm trying to do something no one's ever done before. So I'm not in that mode of joy yet. I'm in the mode of grind. And I had to make certain sacrifices to get to where I was. That being said, when Gary was talking, I was also thinking about, there's this big misconception about success because of stories like Gary, stories like mine, story like Mark Zuckerberg. And people think it just happens at, a young age and it goes for you in your 30s. And the truth is the average entrepreneur doesn't even find the business that makes them successful till they're 39 years old. And I just read another article that got put out that the average entrepreneur who has a successful business in tech is 47 when they start. So there's this misconception it's all these young people, and it's just not the truth.
Rule number 9, find work-life balance.
My biggest challenge is balance. My biggest challenge is how do I continue to succeed and achieve on the level that I've been going for all these years, but still be a good husband to my wife, still be a good father to my kids.
Yeah.
And to do that, it's not like I'm good about getting home, but I need to get better about being present when I'm home.
Taking the phone and throwing it in the other room.
100%.
Because you got the biggest artists in the world, and when they call you, you can't just say.
Yeah, and I'm also a workaholic.
Yeah.
So it's
you want to do it too.
Yeah, it's about finding that balance which I struggle with every day. Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite stories. See, I don't know if I should have watched our interview. Remember what I said before and what I did.
Right. We got a lot of new people on here who probably listen.
Look, my wife is the founder of Cancer. Mm-hmm. And now she has a new thing she's also doing called Mother Lucker, which is right on brand.
Yeah.
And one day I came home and, we were going through something really rough with one of my clients. And about 4 days in a row, I was coming home stressed out. And I kept bringing it to bed. I was stressed out, kept bringing it to bed. Finally, my wife on like the 4th or 5th night, she gets up and she goes, "You can't keep bringing this home to bed." She's like, "I don't need this energy."
Yeah.
And in a classic, obnoxious entertainment, I make, money way, I looked at my wife and said, "That's unfair for you to say that to me. How do you think I provide this life? This is what I do for a living. You knew what you got when you signed up with this. Like, this is, you can't, like, you have to respect, like, I'm not doing this for me. This isn't selfish. I'm working hard for other people." And my wife looked at me and she goes, "Okay, well, I've been helping someone with chemo for the last week. Should I bring that home?" And you talk about a shut the fuck up moment.
Wow.
Instantly, a couple things happened. Number one, I realized why I married her and why I'm madly in love with this woman. Two, which I've said many times before, she reminded me that what I deal with is inconveniences. What she deals with is problems. And that helped me with balance. Understanding what's really important and what's bullshit.
Right.
And when you have children, that helps even more because all you want to do is get back to your kids and be present with them because they don't care.
No. They don't care who you are, what you do, and they don't know any of these people.
My kid just wants to play hide and go seek.
Yeah. He doesn't want to draw on a piece of paper.
He doesn't care.
Swim.
He wants to play hide. Daddy, run. I'm a
Catch
hide.
me.
Daddy, run. Come back in the room. I'm a hiding. That is the game.
Yeah.
That is life right now. And, I think what's important to me also with balance is that I really do want to be someone that people in my industry look at. I want to change the paradigm. When I came in, it was fast women, fast cars, bottle popping. Like that's the music industry when people think about it. And I want to I'm 35 years old and I've been a part of a lot of big records and a lot of big artists. Some people know, some people don't even know. And I want to change it so when people come in the business and they say, who's the baddest dude here? They see someone who is family first.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is trust your instinct.
Are we doing another phone call?
No, I gotta get out of here. I gotta run to something.
No, I want to do one more, Gary.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do one more because I feel like this next kid. I used to like.
Might not be a kid.
I used to be on online, and I felt like if I don't answer like the next kid, I miss out on like the great one. Go. So I feel like this next kid might be special. I'm just feeling something.
Who was the person you were looking at on YouTube? The person right before Justin.
Oh, he was an artist.
That's so amazing.
He was an artist. He was an artist that Akon had. I can't remember his name. He was an artist that Akon had.
Brooke, it's Gary Vaynerchuk. You're on the Ask Gary V show with Scooter Braun.
Hi. Oh my God.
Brooke, before you do anything, you need to thank Scooter tremendously. I'm about to be late for something. He pushed me because he has that kind of energy. You need to really thank Scooter for this moment.
Scooter, thank you so much.
This is it.
So, my name is Brooke Johnson.
We'll sign you.
I have applied for an internship with your company for several years now since I graduated.
Brooke, this is the greatest moment. Brooke, you have made my life. Brooke, good news.
Brooke,
you don't even know. You've got the job. It's done. You've got the job. SB Projects, you're locked in. It's done. It's done. I will do everything. I will cancel my life to make this happen, Brooke. You are an intern in for SB. It's done. Brooke, I'm telling you, it's done.
Scooter,
Brooke. Say thank you. Congratulations, Brooke. This is done.
Brooke, where do you live?
Scooter, so I went to LA last week. I bought a $100 plane ticket just to go down there because I was like, hey, I'm going to get some coffee with CEOs because no one's calling. I live in Seattle, Washington, actually Puyallup, Washington.
Keep going, Brooke. This is the moment of my life.
So I flew down to LA and I was like, I'm going to get some coffee with CEOs because nobody was biting on any of my applications that I was throwing in. Sony, Live Nation, nothing.
Keep going.
And so I got a few interviews, but when I was down there, I got pickpocketed. I got my phone stolen. I got in a really bad car accident. Jesus. I was T-boned and thrown into an intersection.
All right, Brooke, first of all, I'm going to give you money for the rights to your story. I want this movie. Keep going.
Keep going.
I had the biggest interview of my life the next day at 9 a.m. And
who was it with?
Who was it with?
It was with Adidas. It was
Adidas. Okay, keep going.
I signed an NDA, so I can't tell you much. But it was a big job, and So they interviewed me, blah, blah. But I got an email last week. They were like, hey, we're moving our offices. So I was like, oh, great. I don't know what to do, and I want to work in LA.
Brooke, I have a question for you. What do you want to do?
I want to change the world.
I understand that.
But in details, Brooke, don't blow your shot here with some ideology bullshit.
Okay.
Brooke, do not ideology your life into the wrong direction.
Brooke, what kind of job were you looking for?
I want to inspire. I'm looking for marketing. I want to inspire people to inspire themselves.
Okay, Brooke, hold on.
Brooke, you go one more ideology step and Scooter's going to kill you and hang up on you.
Brooke,
don't give me any more 2019 horse. Get real practical here right now. This is the moment of your life. You're going to watch this video every day for the rest of your life. And if you do one more ideological, theoretical bullshit thing here, when he's looking for practicality, I'm going to punch you in the nose.
Okay, Brooke, here's my question for you. You say marketing. What gives you experience in marketing? Anything?
What gives me experience? Can you repeat that?
What did you do?
What kind of experience do you have in marketing?
What was on the resume? Anything yet or nothing?
I have a little bit of marketing experience. I was the president of the American Marketing Association at my university. I successfully got a $7,000 through... oh gosh.
Don't worry, you're fine.
I'm still here, Brooke.
I didn't sell anything. I just went to my Zumba class and these women, I got these women on board with my ideas and they were like, yeah, we'll give you some money. And so I walked out of the YMCA one day with $1,000 and it's things like that.
Okay, so Brooke, here's my question for you. Can I, just out of curiosity, give me your background, your parents, like what did they do?
My mom's a single mom. My dad's completely out of the picture.
So Brooke, let me get this straight. You're a young lady who I assume was a single mom, like you got student loans?
Yes, I have a lot of student loans, yeah.
So you got student loans, you're grinding, you're going to school, you're making things happen, you have a dream of marketing, you buy a $100 plane ticket and just show up in LA, somehow you got an interview, They've decided to move on. All the other people wouldn't meet with you. You got pickpocket, everything else. And then how did you find out about this tonight? You were just watching Gary's Instagram?
Yeah, one of my friends told me I needed to follow Gary Vee because he was like, hey, Brooke, get your head out of your butt and figure it out.
So, Brooke, here's my thing, right? Okay, so I want to explain what happened. Gary needs to go. And Gary, we just did a call with a guy, and I just said, look, my whole life experience, it's always been that last one when I'm about to leave, like answer one more, that something very special happens. So we decided you were the one special. I said, Gary, one more. So that's why he was saying everything else. So what I'm saying to you is I get in a lot of trouble with my staff when I meet people in the street and they ask for an internship and I say yes. I've literally
You're super pissed with me right now because I just did it.
Listen, I am actually told I'm not allowed to do that anymore by my own company because I get in so much trouble for giving random, and usually they turn out to not always be
they're always
but
oh no, I'm a good investment.
No, I know, but
Brooke, here's the thing.
It's always
it's usually always but it's worked out a couple times.
Yeah, and one time nets out, and guess what? That's why Scooter and I have companies, not the henchmen here in the corner.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to you, Brooke. When you graduate,
I already did.
Yeah, she's ready to roll, Scooter.
Okay, and you want to work for free? You said you just want an internship?
Well, minimum wage wouldn't be terrible.
I will work for free. I'm planning on moving down to Los Angeles within the week, regardless of if I get a job or not.
And what about money to live? How are you going to afford to live in LA?
I have a cousin who told me that I can rent a room for $50 and
Brooke, cousin, yes.
So in Santa Clarita, and so I was like, okay, I'll take that up. I don't know.
Figure it out, Brooke.
It's gonna lead, and so packing my.
Brooke, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get your information. I'm breaking my rule. This is not for any kid watching. You meet me in the street. I'm not breaking my rule again. Don't get it twisted.
This is never happening again.
Okay. But what I'm going to tell you is I follow, like the universe has fixed my life plenty of times. I was telling Gary earlier, like when I don't really know, sometimes it shows it for me. You need a break. And I think sometimes in life, I was talking to Gary about luck.
Start crying.
Brooke, I want to explain this. I was talking to Gary about luck earlier, and what I mean by that is, and I never got to explain it. I have friends who I know are as smart as me and have worked as hard as me and have not had the success in life because along the way they just didn't get the breaks. And I always tell them, keep going. The breaks are waiting for you. The breaks are waiting for you. Sometimes it happens earlier in life. I got lucky; it happened earlier in life, and sometimes it happens later in life.
And sometimes it happens on the Ask Gary Vee show.
And I think tonight happened on the Ask Gary Vee show. So I don't know what it will turn into, but you deserve a break. So I'm not giving you a job yet, but I'm going to give you the internship. And what I'm going to do is
we're going to pay you minimum wage too, Brooke.
But unlike the other interns, I'm going to actually make sure that like you and I, that I put you on a couple projects, to make sure that I see what you can do on the marketing side. And that's why we did the extra phone call.
Even better. It gets way better because I'm not letting Scooter here out Oprah me. So on top of that, because you want to do marketing, I'm flying you. I'm paying for all this. I'm flying you to New York. I'm putting you up in a hotel for a week and/or at D-Rock's house. I haven't figured it out yet. And you're going to work here at Vayner for a week.
But what if I want to hire you?
No, stick with me real quick. You're gonna work with my team for a week. We're going to give you all the secret sauce so that when you go back to Scooter's land, you're not just doing some YMCA hustle. You're doing 2019 perfect marketing. You're coming here for a week. We're going to teach you as much as we can in a week. You're going to work 19 hours a day like our crew does. Then you're going to go back to Scooter's world and eventually be the CMO of Scooter Braun projects.
So Brooke, we're gonna figure this out. The one thing I want you to promise me though, if we do this, you got to only promise me one thing.
I'm all ears.
Okay, I just want you to call your mom when you're done and thank her because I'm raising kids with two parents and it's hard already. And the fact that your mom has been a single mom and raised someone with this kind of ambition, that's a beautiful thing. And she probably put a lot of sacrifices and you don't even know. So I just want you to call her and say, thank you. I caught a break tonight. I don't know what it'll turn into, but I'm glad I could hear you need a break. So you got your break tonight.
And Brooke, and I got one request. Are you a Seahawks fan?
Well, I know you guys are Jets fans, but yeah, go Hawks, man.
Okay, you now have to become a New York Jets fan. Like right now. Like there's nothing else to say. Like Russell is a great guy. Like Pete Carroll, former Jets coach. But right here, right now, you have to tell the world you are now a New York Jets fan.
Information?
Would you guys trade your football team for this?
I would not. But good news, I can do anything with myself.
Hold on, Gary, you know what?
I
Hold
would
on,
not.
Hold on. This is. Let me
look-
tell you. Hold on. I don't want you to answer this, Brooke. I need to say something. Now I really like you. The problem with football fans, and this is why, as a Jets fan, I respect Eagles fans and other people, is that there are all these people that are only fans when they're winning. They're fair weather fans. Jets fans, we've been hearing about Joe Willie Namath our entire lives. We're real fans. We fight. The fact that she just got this break and still had the guts to tell us, I'm staying a Seahawks fan. Brooke, I with you.
Brooke, on the other hand, I don't. So I'm taking everything. I'm taking everything I offered off the table. No New York, no D-Rock house, no flight here. You have to go straight to Scooter's World, and you can knock on YMCA doors and sell some albums. I don't know. I'm out. Scooter's in.
I'll fly into your office. Don't worry. I'll figure out a way.
I'm kidding. Listen, I'm super excited.
This is why we took the last
Andy
phone
is
call.
going to
This is
send
exactly
you.
the kind of
Andy's
stuff
going to
I
send
do.
you a message right now to your Facebook with my email. We'll get set up. We'll forward it to Scooter's Land.
You want to do a week here?
She's going to come here for a week. We're going to train her to be. We'll put her up for a week and train her, and then we'll send her back to you with more talent.
And then I'm going to pay for the flight to LA from there, and then you move into your cousins, and we'll start the internship.
Oh my God.
And Brooke, I'm going to buy you a $4,000 car.
What are you really?
I'm being dead serious. She can't get to your office without a car. I don't know what 4,000 gets you in car world these days.
You want to split it?
Done. Brooke, we're buying you a $4,000 car.
Yo, by the way, my office is going to be really pissed that I'm just giving out cars, and they've been working there.
Listen,
they're going to be like,
Brooke,
"What the?"
Brooke, I'm going to hang up now because I'm about to buy you a house. and so, congratulations, Brooke. Scooter made your life.
By the way, it's also Uber and Lyft. You know.
Yeah, I know, but let's get her. I want her to drive a $4,000 car because there's a little bit of that ghetto magic that I'm interested in. I want the hustle and drive.
Do you get to choose it?
Yeah, it's green, but not that teal bullshit up in Seattle. It's hunter green. Brooke, we're buying you a car. You've got a job. You work for Scooter. Like, you're coming and getting like IP from Vayner. Like, good tonight.
Oh my God.
Are you crying, laughing, or throwing up?
I'm doing smile, crying.
Awesome. We love you, Brooke. Scooter, you're amazing.
Take care,
See ya.
Brooke. Bye. That's why we do the extra phone call.
I get it.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, if you're still here watching and you promise, you commit that you're gonna take action after watching this video, you're not just gonna watch a video, you're gonna do something afterwards, give me a hashtag believe in the comments because I want to celebrate you.
I was in Atlanta. I'm at a school where there is a group of kids who have access and trust funds and everything, credit cards, and they're going out and they're partying and popping bottles and doing all that. And I don't have any of that cash, but I don't like being broke. So I walked by this nightclub one night and this, on the way to another one that everyone was going to. And I said, hey, if I get people here next week, will you give me some money?
How old were you at this point?
I was 18, 19. And the guy looks at me and he's like, yeah, sure. How many people can you bring? And I said, how many people do you hold? He's like, 800. I was like, cool, 800. And he looked at me like I was insane. And I went to Kinko's and I made Kryptonite Entertainment because I like Superman.
Okay.
And I made these flyers and I had these freshman girls pass out flyers with me who I was friends with because I had high school sweethearts, so I was safe. And 800 people came the following week.
If you want to see the top 10 I did on Dame Dash, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
And thinking is a part of that. You'd be surprised how many people are scared to think. Most of my arguments don't come from me pushing somebody physically. It's from me pushing them to think.